Hey, what's up? This is Daniel Barrett from AdWords and in this video, I talked to Matt Bell from Apollo Homebuyers. They did 112 deals in 2021, and they're on track to triple that in 2022. How do they do it? A relentless focus on following up systems, business best practices, awesome marketing, and more. We'll go over all that in our interview. Let's jump straight to the video. All right, I'm here with Matt Bell from Apollo Homebuyers. Matt, how are you? Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate you having me. I looking forward to catching up a little bit.
You are an absolutely world-class operator in terms of how you run the business that you run. You are super ambitious in terms of what you want to do with Apollo Homebuyers. And I'd just love to dig into this with you. I would love to start with a little bit about your backstory.
I think we bought our first home in September of 2020. Anyway, fast forward through 21, where we're starting to get some traction, and we've purchased, I said 100, over 110, it's 112, I think, homes in the last 12 months in Augusta. We have since opened up Columbia, South Carolina, which is about an hour east, and we're starting to get some traction there. So yeah, we're really excited. Everything's been kind of priming the pump for 22.
Yeah.
And the goal is to buy, 300 homes in 2022. Hope to continue to partner with you, both from a system standpoint, but also from a SEO and PPC standpoint. And even more so, right, with the COVID stuff. You got to be able to reach people via computer and via kind of traditional means of marketing too. I haven't turned this on yet, but radio and television, the boomer generation, they're television. So we're excited about 22 and we're just getting ramped up with you. And as we talked about before, we've got another couple of businesses and websites that I look forward to partnering with you on as well.
The thing I'm really curious about is how you think about or how you thought about building that team. Because obviously, like, you're amazing at what you do, but you have to have support in order to do the kind of business that Apollo is doing. Like you said, you want to triple in the next year. How did you think about building that core team that you started with? And how are you thinking about scaling that team up?
It's not the wing and the prayer technique just really doesn't take you all that far. And you can only elbow grease yourself so far as well. There's definitely, I think, a pretty large population in the investing space that is a School of Hard Knocks group. And I respect that. I think it's great. I think that to each their own. I try to bring a little bit more of my business background, some of my scale experience to it. We're a traction-based company, and we've defined a lot of different metrics, our mission, our purpose, our core values, and it's who we are and it's how we live. And so it's important to bring people on. I think that at their core line up with those values. So we have a team of VAs that do a lot of our outbound marketing, and we have a CRM that we use. We text, we cold call, we mail. We're leaning into SEO and PPC. And again, I'd like to lean into some traditional media like radio or TV sometime in 22.
I've talked to a bunch of my clients over the past couple weeks, and I'm going to continue having these conversations on the podcast, specifically because we have clients that absolutely kill it, that do deals left, right, and center. And we have clients that go in very similar budgets, very similar markets, and just implode. I tend to zero in on follow-up because follow-up is a process that pretty much every investor gets. You got to follow up leads in order to close them. It's something that's fairly obvious, but different investors have very different approaches. We could talk about follow-up specifically, or we could talk about process more generally. But how do you think about putting systems in place for your business that are going to allow you to succeed?
Maybe the most concise way that I could verbalize it is I look at follow-up and or conversion, if you will, a marriage between automation and manual effort. I think there are a lot of things that you can automate, and then there's a lot of things that just really need to be driven through effort. And as I mentioned earlier, we text, we cold call, we mail, we are leaning into SEO and PPC. So the idea from a follow-up standpoint really just has to do with the number of touches. And so it's a couple of things. We want to touch everybody in a handful of different ways, what I refer to as being fully layered in our marketing approach.
Okay.
And so we want to touch them in several different mediums. Frankly, some people are going to reply via text. Some people only want to talk. Some people want to email, and really you just have to figure out how it is somebody wants to communicate, and then stay there with them once they've raised their hand and are open to having a conversation. Not only are we looking on the front end or the on the outbound end to touch people in a handful of different ways, sales axiom, right? No is the same thing as saying not yet. And so if ever we get any engagement, they immediately go into our follow-up process. We want to touch people in a variety of ways. And then if there is any level of engagement that is not like, hey, put me on the do not call list or whatever, if there's positive engagement, just I don't want to sell now or whatever, they go into a long-term follow-up drip. And that's some combination of a text every few weeks or whatever it is, and then maybe a cold call at a similar pace. And we're just trying to re-engage and hopefully earn the right. Once the person has the oh crap moment, right? It's go time. I didn't realize the bank was serious moment. You spend all this time, energy, and effort getting to that moment. And when somebody's okay, it's action time. I gotta deal with, you want to be there. If you spend all this time, energy, effort, and then like they're going through their mailers and they call yours and you don't answer, they go to the next mailer and you just totally lit all your efforts on fire. We're probably close to $100,000 a month in marketing right now across the 3 markets. So we're pouring a lot into the lead gen side, and we need to start to convert. And we need to have somebody that has that singular focus on getting and setting the appointments and then going in and seeing if the person is somebody we can help or not.